trip through time. We'll enjoy some historical sites, searching out some ghost towns, and even find a plane crash. Jump in, let's go for a ride.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome to an ancient civilization site. This place was shown to us a few years ago by a good friend, and this is out in the pretty remote desert. And things throughout the Southwest here in America are preserved really well. It's a really dry climate, and so things just kind of stay the way they were. And scattered about this site, the last time we were here, were arrowheads, pieces of pottery, the caves that a civilization long before us lived in. And it's just wild to be here. Leaves us curious of what the landscape looked like thousands of years ago. How did they survive? Pure grit it took to endure out here. It's just amazing.
It's crazy.
So we're gonna take a minute and walk around here and see what we can find this time.
Let's check it out. That's just a rock, but a crazy different rock from whatever the landscape is. I mean, it's white. And it's got a sharp edge on it.
Anytime you're adventuring out in at least some of these desert areas, just take a look around. You'll see a rock that's natural here or things that have been worked. It's not like there was a lot of tooling at the time. Use a harder rock and a softer rock to chip it away to make something. But there are so many ancient civilization sites throughout Utah, Nevada, petroglyphs, things like that. Some of them well documented, you can find them easily. Some you really have to hunt and get way out there. This is one of those. We're gonna hunt around and see what we can find for you.
This is so neat. I mean, it kind of looks like still that they had a fire right here.
Yeah, there isn't these black scoring marks anywhere naturally that we've seen. Very well could be soot.
Definitely an animal den because there is a lot of poo.
Something lives here now. Look at that, they even had a little shelf back there.
Yeah, but what a great natural block this is. I mean, you could like fit a whole family in here and keep warm and have shelter from the sun.
What that is.
Such an amazing view from up here. And then from this pointage, you can see that there used to be a dry lake bed back there. That's what it says on the maps.
And we're talking about thousands of years ago. So that was not a dry lake bed at that point in time. That would have been full of water. There's a wash just on the other side of here that, by the landscape, would have run water straight right into that lake. So you had everything. You had protection from the elements. You had the vantage point to see above everything for predators or hunting. And what was here back then? I don't know. You know, were they fishing? Hunting? We're at about 5,000 feet, so it could be deer.
What a great place to call home.
It's a pretty epic view.
Charlie just poking his head out. He's on watch still. The earth has changed so much since we've been out here like 2 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, the last time we were out here was about 3 years ago. Tail end of a 20-some year drought. So the landscape looked drastically different. There's been a ton of rain these past couple of years. 2022 and 23 were pretty heavy for rain. I have to throw an image up here of what just the landscape looked like at that point. Even the bushes, there was half or less of what's out here right now. Some of that rain, the soil might have covered some things up.
I'm gonna keep looking.
We're gonna keep on the hunt, right? It's amazing what just a little bit of rain will do to an area, though. This is in the fall, and there's still a lot of greenery out here, and just a lot more dense than when we were out here before. A little rain will liven things up. This piece is probable. The edge of this is worked into a sharp edge. It is broken though, but that would have been completed here. Yeah, that's been worked. The rain really has changed this a lot. So over the 20-some years of the drought, I think the wind blew up a lot and turned up a lot of earth out here. And now that it's rained, it's like there's a fresh layer kind of over everything. Last time we heard it was just littered in artifacts, but I'm sure they're still here. They're just hiding, covered up a little bit. But it's good practice to appreciate, but leave it here for the next one to find and pontificate on.
All right, let's see if we see anything on our way back.
Go hunt around the other side of this. A little rock blob. Yeah, this has definitely been worked all the way around the edge of this. It's not perfect. But again, how many times do they try and fail? This has been chipped off around the edges to a pretty severe point. Such rudimentary tools.
It's so cool.
It's wild. There's a difference. I should try and find something similar that hasn't been worked so I can show you. But when there's been tooling to the edge, it's kind of what we're looking for.
I feel like we're getting closer.
I think so. It's on the right track.
Oh, there's that same rock that...
We found several that are this style before. This type of rock. I have no idea what this is. Well, they keep popping up. We might be getting closer. So this is about the second time we've come across this type of rock, and this isn't from around here. I don't know how far or where they found this, but again, it's got a tooled edge. It's broken. But that's the type. It's just incredible. Get to play archaeologist for a little bit out here. Harness my inner Indiana Jones.
Oh, wow.
There's pieces, but that's pretty cool. Just checking some of this lower point after it rained. If it pushed a lot of the material down. So it's still out here. I'll leave it there. Oh man. Makes you wonder, what did this look like thousands of years ago? The way it was described to me was 10 to 15,000 years ago. The indigenous people would have taken up residence here. Wow. But
so
we've
cool.
spent, I think, over an hour exploring around here, at least. So, I think we're going to press on, get some miles down, get across some dirt, and we've got a little more modern history to show you. Let's jump back in the Jeep and cruise across the desert. So this one's a little bit more solemn history, but cool that it's here. This site looks like we're out in the middle of the absolute desert here. This is actually the site of a plane crash. This was a Air Force, an airman who was flying a test flight out of Nellis Air Force Base, and unfortunately crashed and died out here. His name was Captain Eric Ziegler, Dirk. There, this was in 2011, but they've got a really cool memorial out here. Really cool memorial out so people can come out and pay respects. Looks like a few have had come out and had a drink with the guy. Looks like there's some challenge coins here. Yep. U.S. Air Force Weapons School. Tomahawks. There's a few of them here. And when after the plane crash and he was recovered, they do blow up the airplane for technology purposes. So there's little pieces of the plane everywhere. There's a little box over here as people keep picking them up and leaving the remains together. So this one's tough, but a big thank you to anybody who served out there, whether in wars or not. All gave some gave all. Thanks for your service, Cap.
So we found this sign that was laying down. It was taken over by the wind, and it says place there, but has Dirk's. So Dirk's Place. And so we put it back up, and now Blake is going to take some wire and put it back together.
Let's see if we can put this back together here.
I wonder if that is part of the plane. I wonder what TEP. Because it's not like license plate material. It's way thicker than that.
It's heavier. If that was a piece of the plane, somebody cut that out. And at least got the sign fixed up a little bit.
Washed out. So now there was no good place to turn around. I mean, we will see. I'll show you. There is a drop off and then there is a hill. Keep coming straight. And so we are backing down this whole hill. You want to go a little passenger, but then straighten right back out. You're just riding this edge a little high. Okay, now straight. Job. And you can see we have a long way to go. He's coming. Keep going. Got a lot of room in the front to turn around too.
Hi. Fun climb. Slow backing down. Yeah, I had to make the right call though. Yeah, it's pretty washed out up there. So. It was a long way backing down that ridge, but wish we could have made it to the ghost town up there. We just got too tippy on the ridge there with all the washouts and leaning on the side of the mountain as it was. So let's boogie and find a different camp spot.
We made the right choice. All right.
Not make it up to the ghost town. The trail was pretty good. We got up to a portion of the shelf road that has gotten really washed out. There's been some rough winters and some crazy rain here. Ooh, dusty. Over the past couple of years, and I was concerned about that in the first place, to see how many trails had changed condition and what had gotten really washed out. That was one of them. So the shelf road, not only is it a shelf road with a good couple 100-foot drop off, you're already kind of off camber going off, headed up that shelf road. And at the same time, there had been some repairs done, but we were getting really tippy. That is the downside with the rooftop tent and all that weight up there and such a short rig. Short wheelbase, that is. So we got pretty tippy and had to back all the way down that. So and what you saw on film here was not the worst of it. We got through that part first.
Yeah, we definitely made sure. I mean, it's hard to film something when it is of that severe of a moment, importance of a moment.
Yeah, it did. It got things got important. So yeah, we were concerned. We got to be cautious. We're out here alone. We had to make a call, and I really wish we could have made it up to that ghost town, but we'll put it on the list for the next one. On a different bill. But now, something wrong. And we're on the hunt for a camp spot. While there is a ton of open land out here, we're just trekking through it. Not much for clearings or already established camp spots.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to go take a shovel and clear one. I suppose we could.
I guess for now we'll just keep
We're just
trucking.
gonna keep trucking.
Anything here? Was it almost dinner time, Charlie? Charlie definitely can tell when the sun's starting to set that it's dinner time. And then when the sun finally sets, he knows it's time for bed. I know.
His internal clock's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I will.
This weekend, but we just ended up on the same track as the Rebel Rally. It's a really cool race. They run the entire track off paper maps. I have to run GPS point to point and get as close to the waypoints as I can. But really cool thing is it's an all-ladies rally, which is amazing. Driver, co-driver. Yeah, you're hauling across the desert of Nevada. And checking these waypoints in on just the GPS they give you to check in. Everything else has to be navigated by paper maps. So cool.
Definitely a dream one day.
And we just ended up on that track, I guess.
In the middle of nowhere.
Actually, here they are. This country is so incredibly diverse. We've just been in Utah, now we're dropping down into Nevada. Yeah, there's Joshua Tree National Park in Southern California, but Nevada is covered in these Joshua trees, and they grow with the wind. So up here we're in this kind of tight valley. There's not a lot of wind. These are actually growing pretty straight. But you get out in a big flat where they get abused by the wind. They are growing like this. Like it is something out of Dr. Seuss. And these crazy rock formations, these mountains are just, it's incredible.
Here they go.
Oof. So we're gonna wait it out. We're used to being the only ones out here, out eating somebody else's dust. Wait for that cloud to dissipate a little.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't even see through it to see if somebody else is coming.
They're coming down.
There's just so much dust.
We're just getting blasted. Well, we found a camp. You can see that. We are unbelievably dusty. It's a really dusty trail. Chelsea's off walking the dogs on the dry lake bed here. ended up playing cat and mouse with the rebel rally there for a minute, so just trying to stay out of their way as much as we could, but we took on a lot of dust. I don't know if you can see the haze in the air, but that's all the rigs that have been running through here. But rig is dusty. I'm dusty. Let's do something about that. I mean, that's better. All right, let's eat. Well, a bit of a smorgasbord this evening. Cleaning out the fridge of leftovers. A couple tacos, pickled veg. Stuff's delicious, I love it.
That's really good.
A little salmon, some crackers. Yeah, it's like an hors d'oeuvre plate tonight. We got in here a little late. Moon's up over there. A little kind of a pink sky on this way. Sun is already set. So we got about a half an hour of daylight left. It'll be in a really cool spot. It's been an awesome day of adventure. But we are starving. I'm gonna smash some food, set up the tent, and get some sleep. I'll see you in the morning.
Good night.
Oh, good morning. Oh, sun's just poking out. Thanks, Bob. It was chilly last night. Something to take into consideration when you're traveling in the high desert. Still up in elevation a little bit, and high desert has some wild temperature swings. It was up in the 80s last night, or yesterday. And then last night it was close to freezing. It was chilly. And we're getting down some hot coffee here. Chelsea's off feeding the pups. Oh, and the sun finally poked its head. Thanks, Bob. All right, over the mountains. Warming things up. And now we've got to find our way out of here today. We've been aired down and just hanging out and cruising through these deserts for a few days. So, time to head back toward civilization at some point, get some supplies, do a little laundry, and press on to the next one. So I'll give you an update here in a little bit where we end up. So we're just loaded up and getting ready to go here, and we've been adventuring around this general area, quite a lot of miles actually, and I'm using Overland Bound 1 here to navigate some of the roads. Well, a ton of this is mapped out, and I can decide, trying to find the most efficient route out of here or the most adventurous route out of here, and some of that I get to determine with this mapping software. And this has come such a long way in the last even 5 years, where when we started doing this I was going paper maps and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, being able to use this, I can determine our most efficient route out, and then if I'm curious, we do have topographical lines up here, so I can make a judgment on what kind of terrain we're going to traverse. But if I want to get in here, and I can pull up 3D maps, and I can navigate right along the trail. This has been really helpful to navigate some of the easier tracks, or to know what exactly we're going to traverse and what the terrain of that will look like. So I can pull that from top-down view, where I get the topographical lines, or spin that right up. Then I can just follow the track right along and get an idea of what we're going to go through. For example, this one follows the low point We're not going up and over any mountains. So this is going to be a pretty easy track to get out of here. This will be our most efficient way to get out. And this is kind of an every morning thing. Every morning, every afternoon. Especially traveling fair weather, sometimes we have to make an alternate plan. We have to do that pretty quick. So I can just jump into the maps here and make a decision. Traverse that. Find our most efficient way around, or someplace we might like to explore. So yeah, if you're interested in Overland Bound 1 or doing any of this navigation, check it out in the App Store, Overland Bound 1, and there's a link in the description for a discount. But now that we've got our route out of here, time to press out, hit this dusty trail, and go in for some more services. Well, we have come to the end of the trail. Navigated our way out of that desert out in kind of pretty remote Nevada. There's not a whole lot out here even when we do get to civilization. Ooh, cattle grate. But made it back to the blacktop. So it's time to air up the tires, go back into civilization, and restock for the next adventure. It's been a good one. See you in the next one. Take care, guys.